Hello. Okay. So anyways, basically in terms of what you should do, one, always take suicidal comments very seriously. When a person says that he or she is thinking about suicide, you must always take the comments as being real. Assuming that the person is only seeking attention could be a very fatal mistake. So definitely, my mom always taught me never to assume anything, and definitely do not assume anything when it comes to the person and their intentions. Two, you should always encourage the person to discuss what prompted the suicidal thoughts and ideas. The more the person is able to talk about the specific details regarding their experience, the better he or she is able to understand the source of the crisis. And be sure to listen attentively to everything that the person says. Three, use the term kill yourself while talking about the threat. Oftentimes people contemplating suicide envision the process from a distorted perspective. It may seem as a romanticized escape of sorts, a solution without notable consequences. Using the term kill yourself can help bring the person's focus into a sharper reality while enabling the helper person to determine if a plan is in place. And by that, what they mean is it really depends upon the severity of the suicidal thoughts and the depression or mental illness. If the person has already begun the thought about how they would kill themselves, like if they've already figured out what way they want to do it or anything, and they tell you this, that is not a good sign, obviously, and that's when you get a better feel for the severity of the situation. So yeah, definitely, be mindful of that. Also, you need to try to elicit the person's feelings. Expressing emotions is a way for the person to vent frustrations while securing validation and support. An example of this is asking, well, how do you feel about what happened? Allow the person to cry, yell, scream, swear, whatever the hell they need to in order to find some sort of release for their emotions. However, don't allow the person to become violent or harm themselves in any way. We don't want that. For myself personally, the way in which I expressed my emotions, since I could not talk about them during my depressive episode, was I literally kept a journal almost every day of what I was feeling and what was going on in my head. And, it probably was that prevented me from trying anything sooner. So I definitely would recommend talking about it, though, because there is a certain feeling of empowerment from talking about it. Like, making these videos for me, having survived everything, and this is all very empowering for me. So I actually have quite selfish reasons for making these videos. Not only do I want to help others, but they say that by helping others, you help yourself. So I really am helping myself by helping you. Another thing is to assist the person in defining alternatives and options. Those who are contemplating death do not see life as having positive alternative solutions. With assistance, the person in crisis can have the option to select the best solution for the situation. And that is very true. There are times, I think in everybody's life, where things get so rough and you're just like, how am I going to get through this? I can't possibly survive. But you know what? You can. There is no problem on this earth that is worth killing yourself over. None. Life's hard, and, even now, life is hard for me. Like, I have all these bills and lots of financial junk, and I'm looking for a job and applying to school, and, there's lots of stresses in my life. And, my family crap's still there, but, honestly, I'm doing really well. And I'm trying to just get through it all the best I can and stay as positive as possible. And, you know, things can be going well for you too. I mean, it doesn't have to be all doom and gloom all the time. There is a way to be good again, to quote The Kite Runner, which is a book by Khalid Hosseini or something like that, and, you know, there's a way to be happy again, and you can be. All you have to do is ask for help. Also, in terms of help, another thing to do is to seek professional help if needed. If you feel that a person is in immediate danger, get help immediately by calling 911 or 1-800-273-TALK. 1-800-273-TALK. Trained professionals can assist the person in crisis to deal more effectively with the problem and work to instill hope again. The challenge may be cultivating a sense of trust to include an outside person. Yeah, just definitely get help, I mean, they say a lot to get a trained medical professional, and it's not that I don't agree with that. I mean, I'm definitely a trained medical professional if the situation is serious enough, should be involved. However, I think they underplay the important role that family and friends do play in terms of recovery. I think it's a combination of therapy and that said support system that really will get you through your rough time, as it has for myself. And this next one is probably the most important one on the entire list, that I can tell you. If the person is at high risk for suicide, do not leave them alone. Only after you get professional help should you consider leaving them. I know this too well from personal experience. Quite frankly, if I had not been left alone so much, it was honestly because I was alone so much that I knew I could get away with trying. And if there was one piece of advice, if there is one thing from this video I could leave you guys with, it is, do not leave the person alone. Do not freaking leave them alone. Don't. If you're concerned about them, stay with, encourage them. Let them know you're there for them. I did not have that, and December 18th, 2009, I tried to off myself because of how much pain I was in, how alone I felt, and, I survived, but, if my mom hadn't found me 2 hours after I OD'd, I would not be here talking with you. I would not be here making videos and raising awareness right now. So, do not leave them alone. Do not. I can't stress that enough. Okay. Breathe, Sarah. Got a little worked up there. Okay. Anyways, after the person has received help and is no longer critically suicidal, help the person make an appointment with a medical doctor and therapist. Suicidal thoughts need to be dealt with by a professional. They say that only trained professionals should assume care for the person and not to try to care for the person by yourself, which once again, I sort